Blog Talk Radio.
There's a mystery lurking the forested areas of the world. Many have seen something, but what is it? Are they seeing known animals? They claim they walk upright, like a human. There are so many eyewitnesses. Can they all be wrong? Is someone just playing a trick on people? Or is it possible a large bipedal being could exist in the forests of the world? You have a decision to make. Do you believe it exists? These are the topics we discuss on Sasquatch Watch Radio. Alrighty, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Sasquatch Watch Radio. Today is May 7th, 2013. I'm a little tired, but that's okay, because the reason I'm tired is because I had a heck of a great time at Creature Weekend over the weekend, and I'm sure that the Creature Seeker did too. What do you say, Creature?
Hey, Billy, I totally second that. My ribs still hurt from all the laughing that we did the whole weekend. I mean, it was just so much fun. I don't think there was not one night where I went to bed before 2 a.m. and not one morning where I actually got up later than like 7:30 or 8 o'clock.
Yep,
so every day. What's that?
I said same here.
Every day was like there's always something to do. And from the comments that we received back, it looks like, all the volunteers' efforts were rewarded because the people had a great time at that event.
Yes, they did. And that was the best part of the whole event, is that we had people that we didn't necessarily know, people that were, the first time I've ever seen some of these folks actually coming up and telling us how pleased they were with how well the event was organized, how that we had great quality speakers, and that really feels good.
Yeah, it does. I can't stress enough, Billy, how many positive comments we received over the speaker lineup we had. People were just fawning over the speakers, and they just really enjoyed all the presentations, and with good reason. We did have a great lineup, and
yep.
I feel very fortunate to, have been able to have those speakers at our conference.
Yep, me too. Me too.
The dinner Friday night, that was a lot of fun. Did you enjoy your prime rib, Billy?
Yeah, it was. As you know, it was probably a little pink for me, but I ate it, and it did have a good flavor, I have to admit. Of course, I had to say that in front of Janine, so she had to make a point that,
Well, Billy, I'm telling you, I consider myself a connoisseur of prime rib, and medium rare is the preferred way to eat prime rib. Can't go wrong with medium rare. So
I believe you.
I wonder how people like the vegetable Wellington.
I don't know. I didn't really try that, so.
We went through that whole prime rib. I mean, the carving station.
Yep.
Was we had eaten most of that. We had almost 50 people at that event, Billy.
Yep. It was good.
It was almost like double what I had anticipated. So the room was just a little bit tight, but we managed to make it work for us. And that was really cool that we were able to celebrate Pat Spain's birthday.
Yep. Yeah, it was. It was great. And by the way, we have a question in the chat. I wanted to know how you liked your overcooked steak last night.
Overcooked steak?
Yeah.
Well, they must be referring to the steak that I had at the lodge, which I had to send back because I do like it medium rare. But I don't know why they would bring that up now. I mean, but speaking of badgering people, I gave Ron Moorhead a really hard time at that presentation. Wouldn't you agree, Billy?
Yeah, but he was able to dish it back too. So
yeah, he was. Ron Moorhead is a really good sport, man. I was zinging him, and he was really good about it, and he laughed it off, and that's one of the reasons why I like hanging out with him. He's so laid back,
Yep, that's true.
But do you like my retelling of the first time I met Ron Moorhead?
Yeah, I'm sure he'll never forget that.
I think someone's filed a hurt feelings report on me. Did you know that?
Yeah.
But that dinner was great. The bonfire was a lot of fun. Then the volunteers were posting all the drawings from the art contest.
Yep.
And that was fun in and of itself. Wasn't it, Billy?
Yeah, it was really cool because some of those kids came up with some pretty good drawings.
Before we go any further, let's bring Carrie Rupert online, and she's actually going to announce the winners of the drawing contest.
All right. Well, Carrie is on the line.
Hello, guys. Good evening.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Carrie.
Hey, I'm doing good. Thanks. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Well, our pleasure, and thanks for all your hard work putting together this art contest, because I know that you put a lot of effort into that, and it's turned out great. Everyone had a great time, not only participating in the event, but judging, and it was a great time.
Thank you. I very much enjoyed it. Thank you for helping guide me there in the beginning, and I had lots of good help, hanging up the posters, and everybody enjoyed it. All the volunteers enjoyed hanging the posters. We had a good time. We loved looking at the kids' pictures, and the whole thing was a great experience for me, and I know everybody that was there that helped out, and all the people that got to see the kids' pictures. And I know the kids really enjoyed drawing the pictures and thinking about, what their Sasquatch should look like, and lots of talk was going on, and it really promotes that creativity that we wanted to bring out, and that is awesome. So you're more than welcome. Thanks for asking me to do it.
Well, I think when we originally talked, we thought maybe we get 40 or 50 submissions. We ended up with a lot more than that. Do you remember what the number was?
Yeah, we had 300 submissions hanging up.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. Like I said, I thanked Terry and Brian Seach and Ryan Cavallini, my husband David, my boys Isaac and Jacob, and Ron Galucci and Tracy Roy. I mean, there's the list goes on with how much help, that I had once we got to the lodge on hanging them up. And Billy, thank you, and you too, Bruce. So it was really great. And it's amazing that we could get that many kids, involved in such a great thing.
Yeah.
So that alone it gives me chills.
When you were looking at the drawings, what struck you about the kids' artwork, Carrie?
I really liked like how some of them put a lot of thought into where they thought their Bigfoot should be, because we wanted to know like where they think that Bigfoot is. We had one on the sun, which was amazing,
Yeah.
and I know we can't get up there to see that one, but and I want to thank Eric Altman also. He was a great help. I forgot to mention him, and he was an awesome help also. But yeah, and the detail to some of the pictures, we did have some that were, very detailed in whether it was male or female, which, kind of surprised me, but I don't know why, because it's art and, Bigfoot doesn't wear clothes. So
Yeah.
so that part was, that was neat too.
Well, it was cool. What was cool is that I saw a lot of pictures had caves, so the kids,
Yes.
there were a fair number of kids who thought Bigfoot lived in a cave, and then obviously there was a larger portion of them where Bigfoot was in the woods. I saw one where behind the Bigfoot there was some palm trees. I thought that was really cool.
There was a Bigfoot at a pizza parlor, and
Yes.
and that was pretty neat, because that was a pizza parlor from the area that they were from, and it was one of their favorites. And a lot of the kids mentioned Salt Fork,
Oh, wow.
seeing it, at Salt Fork, which was pretty cool, and talked about how, it's a special place for them to go with their parents. So I think that was neat.
I wonder if the student who drew the Bigfoot at the pizza parlor was inspired when they saw Eric Altman eating there.
Maybe.
Yeah, you think so? What do you think, Billy?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I just wanted to say, Eric Altman was a huge help over the weekend, and I really appreciate, him showing up at the conference and helping out. And, it's really great that we all can get together at these events like that. There's a great esprit de corps that was going on there,
There was. I think that's my favorite part, is getting together with all the researchers and from everywhere, and it's like getting together with family and friends again, which I know that's our favorite part, my family and I's.
Well, you were there when Scott Nelson, made a speech at the table, and he was referring to when I told Scott, I consider him family. The only problem is I'm not really close to my family.
I like that part. Yeah, that was very touching, and I mean the speakers were wonderful. They're wonderful at the conference. They're wonderful people. They really are, and we were really excited to get to know them better, and how just to see that they're just really down to earth, really good-hearted people. And Scott Nelson was awesome. Ron Moorhead, I really hit it off with his daughter. She was so sweet, Rhonda, and I look forward to talking to her. We exchanged numbers and stuff so we could keep in touch.
Rhonda is a sweetheart. She's great. I've always liked Rhonda.
Dave says I need to hang out with the girls more. So I found some more Bigfoot girls.
You're married to Dave. How much more can you hang out with a girl?
Well, what's so funny is he told everybody in our group that he said, Carrie has girlfriends. They're you guys. They just looked at him like, oh. So now I go, hey, girlfriend.
Well, there was there were a fair number of Bigfoot that were anatomically correct. So what was really cool about that was that, so it means that the kids either saw a Patterson-Gimlin film or, they were just, using common sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Definitely. That's good. And you see statues of art, and what do you see, when you go to an art gallery?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was good.
I asked Pat Spain why he picked that one photo, that one piece of artwork, and he looked at me. He goes, "No, I didn't pick it for that." I was like, "Right, Pat."
That's what he told the people too when they asked him, and he did mention like the student put a whole bunch of little like gestures on there. The student was actually like had his mom out there bigfooting with him and him and it was he had little things, all the people were saying all these cool things, and he said he loved all the activity that was going on out there, and he said that's why he picked that one. So whether we can believe it or not, but that was cool too.
No, what was the most popular name for Bigfoot, Carrie?
Bigfoot Bob was the most popular name. Yes, I don't know why. It sounds good though, doesn't it?
What was the most unique name that you can remember?
The most unique name was Fuzzy.
Fuzzy.
Yeah, the one was named Fuzzy.
That's cool.
So, yeah, because he was fuzzy, like, like duh, they put that. It's really neat.
Well, I was just really impressed with just how, just how artistic these kids are. I mean, I can't even draw that kind of stuff, and some of the artwork that was, I thought, pretty amazing. I thought the kids did a great job on that.
I did too. It was hard. It was hard for the judges, to judge them because there's so many good entries. They really had a hard time doing it, but they really enjoyed it too.
Who were the judges, by the way?
Our judges were Scott Nelson, Ron Moorhead, Pat Spain, Anna. I'm not sure Anna's last name. Do you know it, Bruce?
Just call her Anna Spain.
Anna Spain? Okay, good. And let me see. A woman from Jurassic Park.
Susan.
And Susan, yes, thank you.
Yeah, she's great.
And, yeah, she was great, and she really enjoyed, judging them. She said she would love to come back and do that again. It was great.
Yeah.
And people were disappointed when we were taking down the entries because they said it was like watching the Christmas tree come down. Like, it's sad. They enjoyed looking at them all and checking them out. The staff members at Salt Fork, were saying how much they enjoyed them, and people that were walking through the halls they really enjoyed looking at them and had fun with it. So. And I hope some of the students were able to come out. I heard there was a few that were there, so that was great too.
That's great.
Yep.
Do you have the names? Do you want to announce the winners of the drawing contest?
I would love to. I would love to announce their names.
Okay.
Thank you. Jacqueline Gadd, grade 3. Haley Gadd, grade 4. Joey Wilden, grade 5. Camden Black, grade 2. Alexandria Kintner, grade 4. Belle Zellerek, grade 3. Braden Reed, grade 1. Jordan Johnson, grade 4. Caitlin Morris, grade 5. And Mackenzie Dennis, grade 2. So those are our winners for Creature Weekend 2013 drawing contest. Yay!
Congratulations, kids.
Yep.
Congratulations. You guys did awesome. Thank you for entering.
Wow. So some people have asked, if we're going to publish the drawings, and I'm going to try and come up with a slideshow. So that we can memorialize those drawings, online, because all the kids did a fantastic job with the drawings, and I don't envy the judges. That must have been a very difficult job for the judges.
Definitely. They said it was very hard for them, and that's awesome that you're going to put them on like that. I think that'll be great. I know many people will be looking at them.
Oh, great. Well, Carrie, you were involved in other aspects of Creature Weekend as well. I mean, overall, when you weren't working on the art contest, what was your experience?
I loved it. I would say this is the best conference I've ever been to. Definitely. And my family and I really enjoyed ourselves, and I loved helping out. And the speakers were awesome. The lodge was great. Everything. There was nothing that I did not enjoy. There was not one thing that I didn't enjoy doing. It was fun going out Bigfooting at night with you guys. And
whoa. What do you mean it was fun?
It was fun, even though you made fun of my my pepper
Billy,
spray.
Billy, do you remember this?
Yeah, I do. I do remember, because you guys had me crying. I was in tears. I couldn't see to walk down the trail.
All right, so let me explain to the audience so they understand the situation. We a small group of us had actually gone out because there had been actually a couple sightings that weekend and a photograph or two. So we had gone out to investigate. This was at night, and we're walking along the trail, and Carrie turns to me. She says, "Oh, look, look what I brought for security." And she shows me, I go, "What is that?" And she goes, "It's a mace gun." I go, "Carrie, it's still in the packaging. I mean, what are you going to do?"
I like my tin case. It says Kimber on it. I like it. It's sleek. It's black. It protects it.
What are you going to say? Mr. Bear, please hold on while I remove the cellophane from the display case, and then take the cover off, and then remove the instructions, and then access the mace gun?
Okay, the cellophane was gone, okay, but I did leave the directions in just in case. But I was going to throw the box at. I would throw the tin first, and then I would get the gun out and
Carrie,
and do my thing.
Would be that the bear would be interested in the shiny tin and then be distracted, but you gotta have it ready. You can't have it in a display case.
Bruce, I might just push you in front of him first and then throw the tin.
Carrie,
what do you think of that?
If I see a bear, Carrie, I'll be home sleeping by the time you get that mace gun out of the display case, okay?
We'll see.
And then, Billy, you know what else she did to me? So we're on the trail, right? And we're all whispering because we're just listening for activity. So we're whispering, and Carrie goes to me. She goes, "Hey, Bruce, do you want to hear what a Yeti howl sounds like?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure," because I thought she'd whispered to me. She yells at the top of her lungs, right in my ear, a Yeti howl. It scared the bejesus out of me, Billy. It was even scarier than the real Yeti howl.
It was the Ohio howl I was trying to do.
Well,
I've heard it.
I thought you were going to whisper it to me. I didn't think you were going to yell it into my ear. I almost had a bowel movement right on the trail, for crying out loud.
Did you say you wet yourself, or?
No, I didn't say that. But there's probably a family of Sasquatch in the woods looking at each other and shrugging their shoulders and saying, "I don't know what that was, but I'm getting the frig out of here. That woman sounds crazy."
I thought you'd be impressed by my howl, and here, I'm not sharing that with you again.
Yeah, well, please, don't do me any favors. In fact, Carrie, don't ever do that again in my presence or in the presence of children or the elderly, please.
I don't know about you. You're something else.
I think your husband is rubbing off on you.
I think so. Yeah, that's kind of scary.
When you're in the woods with Dave, your best strategy is to go in the opposite way he's going. You'll probably make it out.
No, really, I'm worse than him. I'm worse at directions than he is.
Really?
It's bad. I've gotten lost too many times without him.
Well,
I'm not kidding.
A shocker.
So. No, it was fun though, and you know what? I'll do my howl for you next time we go out. I can't wait.
Yeah, I know. I'm good. Between your moose pies and your Yeti howls, you've got me terrified going out into the woods, Carrie.
If you can survive with me, you can survive anything, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. But we lucked out. We agree we lucked out. The weather over the weekend was incredible.
Yeah, the weather was just perfect. That was exactly the way the weather needed to be. It wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold. It was just perfect. So you definitely can't complain about the weather, that's for sure.
No, it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. I agree.
Even at night, it was still really warm, and I was just amazed because it's usually pretty cold this early in the year, but we sold under a lucky star, I guess.
Yeah.
Hey, we saw a shooting star that night. Maybe that was a lucky one.
Maybe it was.
Maybe.
It wasn't lucky for me because you yelled in my ear.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I almost went deaf.
Yeah, sorry.
Carrie, did you go to the workshops or the Lantern Tour?
I didn't make it to the Lantern Tour because one of my kids was wiped out because there's so much to do. It's so fun-filled. I mean, I couldn't get him. He hit the bed and he was done. So unfortunately I missed that. I really wanted to go to that, but I heard it was nice and everybody enjoyed it. But I did get to go to the other workshops, the workshop that Dave had. I really learned a lot with that one as far as like what to take in the woods and how to be prepared, when you go out and what kind of things to do. And if you're lost out there, good thing he did that one, huh? Good thing he's ready. Good thing he's ready for that.
You know what, Carrie? Dave caught me totally off guard because he did a good job with his workshops.
He did. Thank you. He did a great job. Yeah, he did a lot with Cub Scouts in the past, and he loves stuff like that. That's him,
Yeah.
So yeah, use them whenever you need them. He loves that.
People loved his workshops. There were a lot of positive comments about the workshops, and people like Melissa's track casting and Billy's presentation. They were highly successful workshops.
Yeah, I really liked Billy's. I really learned a lot, and I like to play with his cool toys. They were really nice. Yeah, and listen and be able to use the things that he brought, and it was really educational, and you learn a lot. And then I watched a little bit of Melissa's casting, but I know she was doing a good job, what I saw, and a lot of people enjoyed watching that. So hopefully I'll be able to do a cast. I should have stuck with that one the whole time, but I had to go.
What's really interesting is that Melissa pours her cast the same way she pours her pancake batter.
Really?
Is that interesting? Yeah. And they both come out the same, hard as a rock. Anyway.
Oh, man. Wow. Wow.
So, Melissa's out camping now, so she's not listening to the show.
Oh, good. So we're safe. We're safe.
We're safe.
I can't say anything because my moose pies suck, so I can't say a word. So
I know. We should have a contest. What is harder, Carrie's moose pies or Melissa's pancakes?
I bet Dave could do a tensile strength on this since he's into welding. He can test to see who's the stronger. That'll be perfect. I bet she win. I think she'll win. My moose pies aren't that bad.
Carrie, please.
I think you're spoiled. I think you're spoiled. Too many steakhouses.
I am spoiled because I usually eat food that's digestible by the human body, so I am kind of spoiled.
Maybe it's Dave's screw still in there from whenever you guys did the ham.
I know. Billy, do not, whatever you do yourself a favor. Do not eat anything that the Ruperts make. It may sound delicious, but then there's like a number 5 screw in there, or a washer, or the moose pies are harder than kryptonite. I mean, just don't even, just run away.
I'll have you both over for dinner, and Janine too. How's that sound?
That sounds fine.
Absolutely
good.
It sounds terrifying, Carrie.
Oh no, you know what, Bruce? You would love my cooking. I swear it.
Carrie, that's what you said the last time you made those moose pies.
I know, but
you left those irons in the fire so long that they turned like orange red.
I have ruined so many mountain pie irons that way. It's not good. I get to talking and chatting and have and then next thing you know, whoops.
Next thing you know, you get your stomach pumped.
I was trying to get yours out of the thing. It was stuck and black.
I know. Well, that's because it had molten into a liquid.
Well, anyways, should I let you guys go?
Let's see. Yeah, let me. I better get to these. We got 5 callers. Got 5 callers.
Oh, okay.
All right. Maybe I'll get some advice about my cooking. Maybe I'll get some advice.
I hope we do get some advice about your cooking. Do we have any physicists out there, Billy?
I don't know until we start bringing them on.
You're such a turkey. Hey, guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carrie.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, let's bring on the first caller from the area code 740. You are on the air. Area code 740, you're on the air.
Oh, that's me. I was asleep.
Oh, was you sleeping?
This is Doug. Yeah, I was taking a nap.
Well, I know. Bruce has that way with people.
I know.
Hey, Doug, the good thing is we can't tell the difference when you're taking a nap and when you're awake, so you're good.
I've been missing my naps. I'm way behind.
Doug, it was great to have you at the conference, and you did a great job with your presentation, and you're a really good sport for being so flexible.
Well, I decided to go for it and make the long trip over to Salt Fork.
Yeah.
It took me, I don't know, it was like 12 to 15 hours to get over there from my house.
Well, where do you live, Doug?
No, I'm about 30 minutes away.
Oh. Doug, it was really great to see your book that you've been working so hard on. You finally were able to debut it. Do you sell a lot of copies?
Oh, no, I've still got a few left. I understand you did buy one, though, so.
What do you mean? You gave it to me.
Oh, I thought you bought one, too. I gave you one to auction off.
Oh, I was supposed to auction that off?
Oh, you mean you kept it? Oh, I see.
No.
No, we auctioned it off.
Okay. Well, I was out of the room when that happened, so I didn't see that.
Yeah, I think really. What did we get for that? Like $1.50?
No, actually, that one went up pretty good. I can't remember the final figure, but it went up. It went up higher than some of the others.
I told Dave Paulides to quit writing books because I've bought every one of them that he's written, and so I'm up to like $125 just to him on his book because that was his 5th one.
Doug, I think we could have gotten more money for your book at the auction if you hadn't signed it.
Yeah, probably. Well, you could have just torn that page out that had my name on it.
We could have. We were trying to say that Dr. Meldrum had written it, but people knew that he would write a book that was more than 50 pages.
Well, yeah, I know. The waitress was getting on me too, saying that the menu down in the lounge had more pages than my book.
Doug, who was your favorite speaker? Did you have a favorite there?
Oh, well, I've read, like I said, I've read all of Dave Paulides' books except the latest one, and but I was really fascinated by Scott, not just the presentation, but the thought that these things that I know when I first started getting into this and read John Green, he called these things apes.
Yeah.
And now to learn that they're not apes, they're some type of human, and they actually have a language. That just blows me away that they're communicating with each other, and it's not just grunts and growls and hoots and whistles, in some random scheme. They've got actual thought behind what they utter, and they communicate back and forth with each other. And what did he say? It went 30 years before anybody ever thought to slow it down and listen to it.
All right.
That's just amazing. I could sit and listen to him all night long talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely interesting.
That was also pretty scary too. I mean, those missing persons cases that he went over in his presentation. I mean, those were that was terrifying. I mean, seriously, that was just the circumstances surrounding those disappearances. Just makes you think,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know a lot of the Bigfooters that I've chatted with online, don't feel quite as safe and secure out in the woods as what they used to. And when I first started doing this, anytime I kind of felt scared or got worried, I used to always tell myself, well, John Green says they won't hurt you, and DeHenden says they won't hurt you, and the only case that I'm aware of was the Bauman case, that Teddy Roosevelt talked about, and the odd case way back where they found somebody dead. But little did I know there's people coming up missing all the time that may have been done in by Bigfoot. We're not sure, but we know they didn't. Those little kids didn't walk 5 and 6 miles away on their own. Something carried them up to the top of the hill or deposited them, 4 miles the other way, and their clothes were gone, and they didn't have a scratch on them, or there's just something very peculiar about that whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, Doug, in all fairness to Dave, right? He never said that Bigfoot was responsible for these disappearances.
Right.
Disappearances. In fact, during the question and answer period, people asked him point blank. They said, "Dave, what do you think it is?" And he just simply shook his head and said, "I don't know. I'm just telling you. I'm just providing the details of these person cases to you, and you'll have to draw your own conclusion."
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. But that's the conclusion that I believe that I drew in some of the cases. And I know, I've argued with some of the other researchers online because they're saying the same thing. Well, Dave never said that Bigfoot did this. And, they're supposed to be these, huge hulking giants, but they're timid and they won't hurt a person. And, people in these habituations talk about gifting and, getting something in return and how gentle and kind they are. But then I've read other books by people in habituations that said their particular Bigfoot that lived around them weren't dangerous, but they felt there could be some out there that were. And if you're going to trust yourself, trust your life to these things, you better darn well be certain they're not going to hurt you. Why couldn't there be the rogue Bigfoot out there that's got a chip on his shoulder or has a mental illness or something that could, kill a person?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man. So that was your favorite. I think you liked Scott Nelson.
Yeah, I liked them all, but I was really looking forward to listening to Scott because I'd done some checking up on him online, and and read a few blogs and things, and I was really interested in that.
Yeah.
So
what really impressed me about the speakers is that all of them, and this is about all of them, is that they knew their material cold. I mean, they were just right on top of their game. That was really impressive to me. Scott Nelson, that guy is definitely a bright guy. David Paulides, he knows. He's very meticulous about the details of his case, and there's no doubt in my mind that his process was probably just as meticulous. Pat Spain, that guy, he knows so much about the animal world, and that may be because he's a biologist by training, but still, I mean, he's just so knowledgeable about the different types of not only birds or mammals, but also like reptiles and marine biology.
Yeah.
All right, you want me to pull another one on here, Bruce?
Yeah, let's do it, Billy.
All right, let's see who else we got here. Caller from the 614 area code. You're on the air.
Hey, guys.
Who are we speaking with?
Foot Trackers, Terry and Treva.
Hey.
Hey, Terry. Hey, Treva.
Hey. Miss you guys already.
I know.
You guys have a good time over the weekend?
Oh, absolutely. I think the worst part about this whole thing is having to wait till next year.
I agree with you.
I didn't want to see it end.
Greatest conference we've ever been to.
Yeah. We haven't been everywhere, but we've been around a couple loops, and bar none, it topped everything I've been to.
What was your favorite part, Terry?
Well, I always enjoy the speakers, and these guys are all so friendly and approachable. Even David Pilati, I kind of thought he might be in another level, and they all are just personal, personable. Well, I just had a blast with all of them.
Well, I have to say that, I read some things online, and I think people were being really unfair to David Paulides, because he, when I met him and I spoke with him, he was just really pleasant to talk to, and we got on really well.
Yeah. Well, being a police officer and stuff, usually I have relatives that are officers, and
they have a certain demeanor, don't they, Terry?
Right. And
like,
they're supposed
to. Yeah, they have that's part of their training. They're very authoritative,
Absolutely, just like a military man. My son's a fireman, and he carries himself different now,
Yeah. Well, thanks for calling in, Terry.
You guys take care.
All right.
I think maybe I ought to do this more than once a year. What do you think?
That'd be a little tough. All right. Thanks, Terry and Treva.
Bye.
Thanks, Treva. Thanks, Terry.
Bless you.
Thanks. All right. Let's see. Who do we got on here? Let's see here. Okay. Caller from the 330 area code. You're on the air.
Hello. We're really grateful that Doug donated that book. I thought it was a little overpriced, and my wife was able to buy it for $1.98 at the auction. So
No, I got $1.98 to buy it at the auction.
Did you borrow the money from Ron Moorhead?
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question in the workshops there. You know, Melissa's showing us how to make a footprint for $1. You know, she got the cheapest material and all that and everything.
Yep.
And we understood that. She's on a budget, and we can understand that. But now, the guy down at the Duck Dynasty guy, he had all this stuff at Walmart. He could afford that. But then we get up to Billy, and he had about $50,000 worth of equipment. And after we walked away from there, everybody's asking me, is that guy a pimp or hitman or what's going on? I said, no, he's got a legitimate job, you know. But the workshop is really great.
Unfortunately, I didn't have quite that much money. It's tied up. Thank God.
Well, Billy's gear is very impressive, isn't it, Tim?
Very, very effective. Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, it's very impressive. But you know what's kind of ironic is that with all that gear, he still forgets to press the camera button to take pictures of the evidence he sees.
Yeah, the trail cam, it just sat there.
Thanks a lot, Bruce.
Well, I got to, before you cut us off, I want to tell you our experience. Linda went down to the Lantern Tour, and I passed out. She drug me up to the cabin, so I get up to our cabins behind her, and my son and my daughter's fiance sitting there, and they go, what's going on? We just heard these heavy footsteps up there. Mm-hmm. You know, like an elephant stomping on the ground. And that was probably around 10:30. About the same time there was a sighting down by the lake and that. So we thought that was interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, that is interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, they were kind of skeptical too, but they wouldn't have brought that up if it really didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Tim go to the Lantern Tour because he was too traumatized from last year on Morgan's Knob.
That's right. You folks went on a little hike and ended up having to be emergency rescued by the watercraft, right?
Right, like Gilligan.
Yeah.
We just couldn't believe it when he asked Ashley and me to lead a group to go up there, of all people.
Well, you know, Linda, I figured you guys know that loop probably the best out of all of us. So, did you have a good time over the weekend, Linda?
Pardon?
Did you have a good time over the weekend?
I had an awesome time. I don't think you can top it next year. I just can't wait to see what you're going to do.
Well, it's going to be difficult because this was really, we all had a phenomenal time. I had a blast. Trying to top this will be challenging.
It will be challenging. You couldn't have had better speakers. I really enjoyed the Lantern Tour. I was kind of afraid to do that, you know, after last year and then going in the woods in the dark at midnight. But it was really awesome. You know, every one of the speakers at the stations, you know, they all knew their stories very well. And it was just great. And except for the little baby cry at the end there, that was kind of a little spooky. But, you know, when they were doing the call blasting there, you hit the wrong button, the baby crying out in the woods. That was great, though. I really loved that. And
I really liked you added the charity there to it with the auctions, the 50-50, our donation box. There had to be over $600 was going to charity for this Dollars for Scholars, and I think that was a wonderful thing.
Yeah, that was great. Tim, you did a great job, you know, managing that and championing it. It really is a great cause. You know, when I was a high school student, you know, I was a recipient of Dollars for Scholars, so it's a charity that hits close to home for me, and I'm really proud, and I'm really happy that you know, we could raise the money for Dollars for Scholars. Now, all that goes to the Guernsey County chapter of Dollars for Scholars, and that money goes directly back to the kids in Guernsey County. So they are the direct recipients of those donations.
That's great.
Yeah.
And we were proud to be a part of that. And, you know, you did a great job, you know, in the different ways, you know, getting the money to go towards them, and you're going to be blessed for it for next year.
Yeah. Well, you two did a great job helping out. Linda, I can't say enough good things about your organizational skills, and Tim, I could tell which cash box you manage because when you open up the box, all the bills are neat and stacked evenly, and they're facing the same way. The other cash box, you open it up, it looked like someone had robbed the bank, was trying to make a quick getaway.
I think Sasquatch had his hand in the till on that one.
The money was balled up, thrown in there. It's like, it was like a troll was hoarding some cash under a bridge or something,
That was Mikey's drawer.
That was Mike. But, Mike did a great job too. I give him a hard time, but,
we love Mike.
Mike, actually, he stayed out there, and I know he would have liked to have come into the conference room and listened to the presentations, but we were short-handed, so he actually stayed out there the whole time and managed that. So I will be eternally grateful for his help.
Well, you're very welcome. You just did a fantastic job, and we can't thank you enough for what you did there this weekend.
Well, I didn't really do that much. It was all the volunteers who worked so hard to put this together, and I was telling Billy, I couldn't have done it without you guys. And the thanks and the kudos goes to you. You guys did all the work, and in many cases, you guys went above and beyond the call of duty. And the great thing about the group of volunteers for Creature Weekend is that, they always do what needs to be done. Anyone else, if you said, hey, can you get up at 6 a.m. and go do stuff, they'd be like, oh, yeah, right, you're crazy. But I know that any one of you, if I needed to call on you in a heartbeat, you'd do it, and I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. We're glad to help.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
All right. You want me to get to some other callers, Bruce?
Yes.
All right. Thanks for calling in, you guys.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks, Linda.
I'm gonna pass along the video of Bruce singing "Thank God I'm a Country Boy."
Oh, perfect.
Oh my gosh.
It's going on YouTube. It's going viral.
Good. Thanks,
Who
guys.
knows, Billy? I might turn out a single that will go, aluminum or something.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
All right, and let's see who we got at let's see what we got here, 724 area code.
Hey, Bruce. Hey, Billy.
Hey.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Who is this?
Okay, hey, Bruce.
Yes.
I have a request.
Yeah.
Sing me Tiny Bubbles.
Oh, I know who it is. It's Terry Machak Seach. How you doing, Terry?
Very tired.
Yeah.
This weekend was just so phenomenal. It was so busy. It was so fun. I didn't get enough sleep. That's my only complaint. I didn't get enough sleep.
I think all of us were averaging about 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I got that much.
Yeah. Well,
but hey, I did want to call in and set the record straight. Carrie Rupert is a good cook.
Terry, come on, please. Please.
No, seriously. Take her up on her offer and go to her house for dinner. She's a good cook.
I wasn't born last night, all right? I know the deal here, and I'm not going to put my life on the line again.
Why do you think you're going to put your life on the line? You think she's going to poison you?
Yeah, I do think that's what's going to happen. I do believe that, yes.
No.
Listen, Terry's cooking is registered with the Defense Department.
One time she accidentally left the pie irons on the fire a little too long, and burn those mountain pies, and you're going to hold that against her for the rest of her life?
Terry, she didn't just burn the mountain pies. Those pie irons were glowing red hot. If I had an anvil and a hammer, I could have molded it into a sword, for crying out loud. That thing was like gone. It wasn't just overcooked. It was gone. And what about like Hillview, where they brought that supposedly barbecued ham and there was a number 5 screw in it? I mean.
I know.
And you're going to blame that on Carrie too.
Yeah, he's just trying to give everybody a hard time. That's all it is. Terrible.
I don't. Well, yeah, Billy, you make me out to be the bad guy, but because of the Ruperts, I can't go through an airport scanner without setting it off now.
Oh my goodness.
Terry, did you and Brian have a good time over the weekends?
Oh yeah, we had a blast.
Yeah.
In fact, Brian's right here, and I think he wants to talk to you.
Oh,
Hold
great.
on a second.
Hey, Bruce, Billy.
Hey.
Is this Brian Matchak Seach?
Yeah, no, I'm not a Maychak. I'm a Seach.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't want to be a Maychak. Don't wish that upon me. Hey, I just wanted to tell you guys, Bruce and Billy, you guys did a phenomenal job. We've been to, I'd have to say, me and Terry have probably been to about close to 50 conferences since 2000, and this was just like one of the funnest ones. You guys put your heart and soul into this, and you guys, unlike some other conferences I've been through recently, you guys really did care, and especially, Bruce, you were saying, hey, did you have a good time? You were worried every minute of the time if people were having a good time, and that's rare anymore. It seems like for some people it's all about the money, but you guys, phenomenal job. To all the speakers, everybody seeing everybody like Dave and Carrie, Eric, Ryan Cavaline, Fred Sanuga, all those guys, Doug Waller. It was great seeing everybody, and it is kind of like a big family, Bruce.
It is. And Brian, I appreciate the help that you and Carrie gave as well. I mean, Dave and Carrie were going to hang those posters and those drawings, 300 drawings. They would have been up all night. So
yeah, that was a lot.
This is what I mean when I say that the volunteers were just phenomenal. It was late. We'd all just come from the private dinner with the speakers. It was late. I think all of us were thinking, boy, it would be really nice to hit the bed right now, but there was work to be done, and everyone showed up, and it was all hands on deck. And that's what it takes. And I feel personally responsible, to make sure that people do have a good time. Not only the attendees, but also the volunteers and the speakers. And people, spend a lot of money to come to these conferences. They drive a long ways, and with gas at $4 a gallon, we really do want to make sure that their experience is a positive one. So that's been sort of one of the core themes of Preacher Weekend since we started it.
And you did a very phenomenal thing, also, Bruce. You actually had tickets for sale at the conference, and I did appreciate that. You know what I mean? Nudge. And also, guys, the Lantern Tour. Everybody who spoke, who did the presentations at the Lantern Tour, they were really great. Eric did a good presentation there, and just the workshops. Dave Rupert did an awesome presentation on taking things in the woods, and Billy with your equipment. I was going to try to heist your FLIR, but I don't think I could have run fast enough. And also, Melissa Hovey did a great job on the track casting. I picked up a lot of great tips that I'm gonna use too. So everybody just a great time. It was really a really positive experience. We thank you guys for letting us come.
We all had a good time. Before we go live off the air, I just want to make sure that I thank everyone for tuning in tonight, listening to the show. And join us again next Tuesday night at 9 p.m. And I'm sure we'll have an interesting guest on next Tuesday. So just wanted to say thanks to everyone before we go off live. We're going to continue a little bit into the archives because we still got about three calls.
I just want to say thanks as well, Billy, to all those folks. We actually met a couple people who came up to us or came up to me and said, "Hey, I listened to your radio show, and I really enjoyed meeting you folks. So please, if you get an opportunity to call up and say hello, and please do. Billy and I really enjoyed meeting the listeners. So it was really that was really cool, and I thank everyone who attended the conference as well. We really appreciate your attendance and your support.
Yep, that's for sure.
Who else we got on the line, Billy?
Well, I'm not sure. We've got two other callers. Thanks, Brian and Terry, for calling in.
Thanks,
good night. Have a nice night, guys.
Thanks, Terry.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I didn't know they were still on the line.
Yeah. Let's see. I've got two other callers here. Let me grab this one that's been on here for a while. Caller from the area code 540. You're on the line. 540. You're on the air. Okay. Nobody at that one. And here's one last one here. Area code 614. Is anybody there at area code 614? They must be listening into the show. All right, well, that was it. That was all the callers.
Wow.
So I think some of those must have just been listening into the show.
Oh, I see.
All right, well, I think we're all exhausted. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
I'll let's kind of give a synopsis of the entire event. So Friday night we had the meet and greet that started up there, and everybody kind of got to talk a little bit one-on-one in some ways with some of the speakers. Then 7 o'clock, of course, we went down to the Friday night dinner where we enjoyed prime rib dinner, and for those that wanted the vegetable dinner and
the vegetable Wellington, Billy.
Yes, whatever. And, of course, right after that, we had a nice presentation by Ron Moorhead. And, it's always interesting to hear the stories of him and Al Berry and how they recorded the sounds. And then, of course, the Sierra Sound recordings have come a long way since then. There's been a lot of studies done, and then, of course, Scott Nelson doing his review of them and learning that there's some interesting things there and that kind of thing. So it's definitely was an interesting part that he gave. And then, of course, we Friday night we had that was all we did Friday night, wasn't it?
Well, we had the bonfire Friday night. Yeah,
we had the bonfire. I think Ron was down there strumming his 6-string.
He was. The guy he's a machine.
Yeah. By the way, I forgot to mention that Alan Kite Squatch said that he heard you talking about how you thought you were going to win some kind of aluminum record. He said that you can't even make it past the brass. I figured I'd add that in there.
It's so great to have the support of our fans, Thanks, Kite Squatch.
Okay, so then Saturday, of course, was the big day. Saturday was the day that we had the conference. Of course, it started out with Dave Paulides, particularly talking about his 411 missing books.
Well, Billy, even before that, we had the judging.
Well,
right?
yeah, we had the artwork judging.
And then Mikey Sorty had Mikey Sorty from Believe It Tour had the Bring Your Own Evidence, and I think we had like a bunch of people out there that you were showing those casts to, and
right. Yeah, and of course we had some evidence actually brought in from the fishermen and some other ones that I didn't get an opportunity to look at. But we were all so busy and running around. I didn't even know anything about the second set of photos. But And then, of course, like I say, Dave Polites talking about the missing 411 books. That very interesting information. Very interesting hearing him talk about how he came about getting the information and all the hard, basically the hard, fiery hoops he had to jump through to get it.
Yeah. Billy, even before that, he spoke briefly about the DNA study.
Yeah, he did. He spoke about that too.
And I think he cleared up, the biggest, criticism of the Ketchum study is that, I think that she had to self-publish it because no journal would publish it.
Right.
And it's because there's such a stigmatism attached to, researching Bigfoot that they just didn't give her a chance. In fact, Dave was saying that they were asking them questions which clearly indicated that these journals did not even read the study. Because had they read the study, these questions would have, been answered.
Right.
But so they were, basically blackballed.
Yeah.
Another thing that Dave was saying about the DNA study was that, I've heard criticism that because he found that there was human DNA in those samples, that people were saying that the samples were contaminated. Well, according to Dave, 3 independent labs tested those samples, and there's a certain score that you get, and above which or below which, I believe if you get a score below 80, that would be a sign that the samples were contaminated. But all those scores were consistently above 80, like 88, 80, I think was one of them. And the thing is, those tests were both repeatable, so they could, reproduce those scores. And so that indicated that there was no contamination of those samples. And Dave said that there were over 100 samples submitted.
Right. Exactly. And, again, this is a valuable lesson. And I'm going to go on the record and say it. It's a valuable lesson, folks. You have to be careful of which Facebook groups you listen to, because there are certain ones out there that are determined to tear things apart. And people, they know who I'm talking about. There are certain groups out there on Facebook that just want to tear everything apart without doing thorough study, or maybe they're not even educated enough to understand what they read. I don't know.
Billy, they're what we call armchair skeptics. People who do no research, who do no legwork, no reading, nothing. They just sit back and say, "I just don't think it could be true," and that's it. They don't offer any research that they've done to prove their point. They just sit back and type away, with an air of, self-importance. And you're right. These blogs are, these Facebook groups, they're not only are they totally incorrect, and the tragedy is that people read them religiously thinking that, they have the answers, and in fact, they couldn't be further from the truth.
Right. And in saying that, in no way are we saying that we're completely in support, because again, it's all new, it's all still being put together. There's still a lot of work to do. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But being overly critical of people is just not the way to go about it. That's and you're right. It's not only Facebook groups, but there are certain blogs out there that do the same thing.
Right.
And we know who they are. We don't have to mention them by name, because people listening to this show know exactly who we're talking about.
Yep.
So
that's for sure.
And then let's see, who was after Dave? That was
well, after Dave was you and Doug.
Right, but I can't remember if I went first or Doug went first. Good Lord, my mind is blank.
I think you went first, Billy.
Yeah. Of course, Bruce cracked the whip and told me I only had 20 minutes, so I had to.
I do admit I did short you on both you and Doug. I did short you guys on your presentations. What happened was, we had such a great session with Dave Paulides that, I just didn't want to stop everything and say, all right, I know you guys got tons of questions, but we got to move on.
Right.
I wanted people to be able to get their questions answered because, look at these speakers we had. Who knows the next time you're going to see Dave Paulides.
Right.
Or Pat Spain, or Scott Nelson, So I wanted the people who made the effort to come to the conference, I wanted them to walk away with a great experience.
Right. But anyway, I did a short presentation on some of the new stuff that we're working on in Virginia at Sasquatch Watch. Doug did a short part on some of the surrounding sightings and things in Ohio there around Salt Fork. And then then of course we did auction items in between because we auctioned off quite a few books. There was a lot of books, and then of course we had some other great items that were donated as well that we did towards the end because they were just such great items.
They were. One of those items was a Sasquatch that had red LED eyes that there was a switch on the back, you could turn it on and off. And that was, I have to tell you, I fell in love with that thing. And it was hard for me to give it up for the auction, Billy, because, the auction item itself was incredible. It was this little, probably 18 inches tall replica of Sasquatch. It had fur and everything. It was on a wooden base with a toggle switch. We could turn the red eyes on and off.
Right.
And it was powered by a 9-volt battery. But in addition to that, Billy, and by the way, that was donated by John McDonald. So, my thanks to John for donating that. But in addition to that piece was signed by Bob Gimlin.
Yep.
And all of the speakers at Creature Weekend 2013 signed it. So Pat Spain, Scott Nelson, and if you recall, there was a pretty big bidding war at the end for that item.
Yeah, there was, and it went back and forth for quite some time.
Yes, it did.
As a matter of fact, I'm proud to say that they even made me sign it. Well, what can I say?
That's great.
That was a great thing. Matter of fact, I've got to get in contact with him because I have to have one of those here myself. So. Yeah,
I told him I want one. It's a done deal.
Yep. So, and then of course we had we had Scott Nelson. Scott Nelson, of course, intrigued everyone with his ability to speak Sasquatch.
That was funny. Actually, he started off his presentation with the Sasquatch.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
And I'm sure people were wondering what is he saying?
That's exactly right. It was pretty interesting.
And before we go on, we talked about the auction, but Billy, the auction was a lot of fun.
Yes, it was.
I had a lot of fun doing the auction. And,
well, tell everybody about the book that was donated.
One of our sponsors works at Weta Workshops, Weta Workshops in New Zealand, and Weta is the special effects company that designed all the Lord of the Rings characters and creatures, and the props, and they also designed all the props and costumes for The Hobbit and King Kong. So we received as a donation a Hobbit-like compendium. So it was a book about all of the creatures in the movie The Hobbit.
Yep.
So it had a nice inlay that was signed by all of the designers at the Weta Workshop.
Yep, and that was a prize to have too.
that was a prize to have.
The illustrations in that thing were amazing.
It was incredible. It was really well done. If people want to purchase, I don't know if they're sold out yet, but I know that they're limited edition. But if people want to order one, they can go on the website at Where Workshops, and I don't know the URL off the top of my head, but they Google it, they could find it, and they could order that book. It's really, it's top notch, that book.
Right. It definitely is. And last but not least, of course, we had Pat Spain, and I think a lot of people were glued to his presentation as well, because he obviously he showed us the theatrical, what do you call that?
Like the bloopers.
Well, he did show that, but what do you call it? The trailer, the Beast Hunter trailer was impressive, and then of course he showed what's it like really behind the scenes, which was just hilarious. And he's just an all-out fun guy. I mean,
he is a fun guy.
Him and Anna both. I mean, Anna, you can tell that Anna is just as fun as he is. I mean, they both share with doing the stuff together. She travels with him. I mean, it's just, you could tell they have a lot of fun.
Well, and Pat is so down to earth. Not only, he was part of his presentation. Billy, he just showed us some of the goofy things that happened, but he's not afraid. He's not afraid to laugh at himself.
Right.
And I think a lot of times people, they kind of get a big head, especially when they become celebrities. It's really great and refreshing to meet someone like Pat, who's really down to earth. He's really just a nice guy, and he's really approachable.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely is. There's no doubt about it. And I tell you, I just wish, and I was telling Janine this earlier, I just wish that he had his PowerPoint presentation online somewhere, because I'm telling you, you would just enjoy some of the things that was in his presentation.
This presentation was really funny and really interesting. And Billy, here's kind of an interesting factoid about Preacher Weekend. You've been to a lot of conferences. I've been to a lot of conferences. You always start out with a lot of people in the beginning, and then as the night wears on, there's less and less people in the conference room.
Right.
What I noticed about Preacher Weekend, now this is our second year, what I noticed is that we consistently, no matter what time of the night is, we always have people, like the same number of people in the ballroom. Like they never peter out.
Right.
So I just thought that was really interesting that we were able to captivate a crowd. The conference started at 2:00. It didn't end until 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Yep, that's exactly right. So it just goes to show that everybody really enjoyed the speakers, or else we would have had a loss of numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was great. And then, of course, after that, we had the Bigfoot Lantern Tour, and people really enjoyed that. It was we had it out on one of the trails, and we told stories about some sightings and things that occurred, and things that certain ones of us had experienced at Salt Fork, which really kind of brought it home, because they were able to hear the stories there on the site somewhere in the woods,
Yeah.
And then at that one point when Dave Rupert had hit the wrong button on the sound blaster, it was just hilarious. He was trying to turn it off, and he hit the baby cry, and that freaked everybody out. It was just hilarious.
It was really funny, because you were telling me, Billy, that the little kids were, they were really affected by it.
Yeah, they were. That was something else. It was funny. But and then, of course, they had another bonfire that night. I don't think too many people showed up because of how late it was. Everybody was so tired because we didn't get done with the Lantern Tour till probably 2:00.
Yeah, it was 2:00, Billy. And it's just, the Lantern Tour was a lot of fun. The thing that made it fun is that, we added another element to it, and that is you're out in the woods, and it's really, really, really dark.
Right.
And especially when you get out away from the city and the city lights, and then you're in the woods. It's one thing to hear these stories by the water cooler at the office during the light of day, but when you're in the woods, and it's all inky blackness around you, and you're listening to these setting accounts, and your imagination starts to get the better of you, it can be unnerving. I noticed that, even, I'm talking just adults here. I'm not talking kids. I'm talking adults. There are adults looking around nervously, as we're retelling these setting accounts. And with good reason, Billy, because those setting accounts, they happen not too far away from where we were,
That's right. Yeah, and then, of course, the next day we had the workshops. Dave Rupert done a great job with talking about, safety in Bigfooting, and a lot of good little tips and things about, what to have with you when you're out hiking or camping and that kind of thing. And I did the equipment, showed everybody thing all the way from the inexpensive type of equipment you can buy all the way up to some of the most expensive equipment that you can buy, doing research. And then, of course, Melissa was doing the footprint cast. And she had quite a crowd down there towards the end watching her do the casting, and I think a lot of people enjoyed it.
Well, Billy, the thing is, Melissa, she doesn't like to be called an expert, but the fact that when it comes to casting tracks, she's probably, I think you'd agree with me, one of the most knowledgeable researchers that you and I know.
Yeah.
And she's done a lot of work with, not only just casting tracks, but she's done a lot of experiments with the type of material, the plasters, and the ratios of water to plaster, and so she really knows that inside and out. So that's sort of her expertise.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, we've actually gotten quite a few comments. We've gotten quite a few testimonials. Over some time, we will share these comments and testimonials here over the next several months. Just so everyone knows, the next Creature Weekend is already under planning. We're already starting to think about it, thinking about what we're going to do, who we're going to have, and put everything together. And like everyone said, it's going to be hard to top this year, but we're going to give it our darn best shot.
Absolutely.
So the Creature Weekend page will continue to exist on Facebook. We'll continue to add updates and information there. We will probably, once Bruce is able to get some of the artwork and stuff together, we'll probably slowly start presenting some of the artwork also on that page. But you can always, go ahead.
I'm gonna throw a teaser out at this point.
Okay.
For anyone listening to the show.
All right.
There's been, some requests like, oh, hey, do you have a DVD of the event? We don't. However, I will be from time to time throwing up random clips from the weekend. They could be clips from any of the presentations. They could be clips from any of the workshops, or really just random times when Ron Moorhead was strumming his guitar on the campfire. So keep checking back. Keep checking the Creature Weekend Facebook page. Keep checking the Creature Weekend website for those clips, because I'll put those clips up, but I may not guarantee that they'll stay up indefinitely. I may put them up and take them down, or not because not for any other reason except our server only has so much space. So in order to put new ones up, I may have to take the other ones down. But still, be on the lookout for those, because they are funny clips.
Yep, that'll be fun. Something to look forward to for next year until the next event, which will be held in the third weekend in May 2014.
That's right.
It's already, the dates are set. So, It means there will definitely be an event. So look forward to that. Well, the only other thing that I had left to say was I just recently got a comment to go to you, Bruce, from Janine. And that comment was she wants to know why it is that you are walking around in the woods looking for a big, hairy monkey when you have problems with the smaller ones.
It's always got to come back to the monkey story, doesn't it, Billy? Well, you know what? You know what, Billy? After hearing about Pat Spain's monkey problems,
yeah,
this is nothing compared to what happened to Pat Spain with that orangutan. All right? My story doesn't even compare to Pat Spain's orangutan story.
No, you could see that in the presentation. He had photos to prove it.
Yeah, I get. I mean, those photos that was horrific.
As a matter of fact, I took the opportunity to check his YouTube page yesterday and saw that he actually has the video of his interaction with that orangutan on YouTube.
Cool.
So it's pretty funny.
I'm sure it wasn't funny at the time.
No, it wasn't funny at the time, and you could tell he was relieved when he got away. Oh, man. But anyway. All right, Bruce, will you continue with a safe trip back home? I know you got a lot of hours to clock to get home. So
thanks, Billy.
Be safe out there, and until next Tuesday night, we'll call it a night, and see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Good
All
night,
right,
everyone.
Good night, everybody. You're listening to Sasquatch Watch Radio on the Blog Talk Radio Network. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Sasquatch Watch Radio. Remember to join us again next Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. We appreciate every one of our listeners. Thank you so much for being here.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses, so don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.